Hi everyone, I'm Steve Galea. Thanks for clicking on the video. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a traditional spaghetti bolognese. There are obviously lots of different types of bolognese, but I think pretty much everyone agrees that it's a great dish to eat, and I haven't met anyone yet that's not enjoyed eating bolognese. So I just want to go through and just teach you a really quick and easy version. There's obviously lots of different versions that people make depending on where they've come from. You know, you have your mushrooms and your olives and peas and lots of different things that are put in there. But I just want to go through and just teach you just the staple, and then once you've mastered that, then obviously you can go through and put in your own little twist and put in your own little secret ingredients and everything in there as well. So the ingredients I've got today are just for a single serve. So depending on how many people you want to cook for, if it's just yourself for lunch or dinner, or if you're friends or family, just times the amount that I've got by however many people that you're cooking for. Makes it nice and easy for you. So let's go through and I'll just show you exactly what I've got in front of me. So to start with, I've got a small carrot which I've just peeled, cut off both ends and diced up. I've also got a stick of celery which I've diced as well. Try and get your celery and your carrot to be similar sort of size. I've got a teaspoon and a half of tomato paste there. I've got a small onion which has also been diced up. I've got 200 grams of tomatoes. Now this I've just grabbed out of a can, makes things so much easier. Just it's half a can per person. I've got 150 grams of beef mince. Now you can use veal, you can use pork, you can use a bit of a combination of both, totally up to you. I've got some Parmesan cheese, that's just for your serving. Basil and oregano, I'm just going to use a pinch of that and a single bay leaf. Then I've got a bottle of wine. I'm not going to put the entire bottle in. Just half a cup of that you're going to need, just nice red wine. If you're not a fan of wine, you don't want to put it into your cooking, that's okay. You can use half a cup of stock, or you can put water in as well. That's totally up to you. But you definitely want some sort of liquid there. And then I've got a clove of garlic. And also obviously olive oil and salt and pepper, just to get everything all sorted there. So what I'm going to do, just with the garlic, we're just going to take off both ends. 1, 2, and then just put the flat part of your knife just on top of there, and using your palm, just give it a bit of a whack. And then the skin should come off nice and easy there for you, just to make things simple to go into the garlic crusher there. So that I'll just get rid of. And we'll grab your onions, put it straight into your garlic crusher. And out it comes. Just use your knife. Beautiful. Okay, so what I've done is I've got a pot here which is full of the water from the kettle. That's boiling away nicely, coming to the boil. I've got my pan on a nice high heat as well, so that's coming to a nice high heat, which is about there now. So what we're going to do is grab some olive oil. You're going to need a couple of tablespoons of oil. That will go straight in. And then you're going to be adding in the carrot, the onion, the garlic. Preferably don't throw it on the floor like I just did. The celery as well, that's all going to go in. There we go, try and get all of that out. And then grab your wooden spoon, give that a nice good mix up. Now, that itself you're going to leave cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. What you want is a nice consistency where the celery and the onions and everything, they're nice and soft, but not completely soft. They still want to be slightly firm. Now to that, what we're going to do is take your bay leaf, try and get a reasonable sized one if I can find one. There we go, in with 1 bay leaf, and then oregano, basil. You need about a teaspoon of that. And then salt and pepper. Same deal again. Now remember, you can always season things later on if they're not quite right. You can always add to that, but you can't take it back out. What you want to hear is that nice sizzling sound. So just give that a good mix up. Make sure that it doesn't burn on the bottom. If you find that the heat is a little bit too high, obviously you can turn that down, or just take it away from the heat and just keep on judging that. You obviously don't want to burn it, but continue to stir that through. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave that just for a few more minutes, and then we'll come back once that's all nice and cooked. Okay, so this is all nice and cooked now, pretty much all the way through. It's been about 5 minutes. The water's got that nice rolling boil to it, so what I'm going to be doing now is just grabbing the pasta. Now, as I said before, you can use pretty much whatever pasta it is that you'd like. Obviously with this one, we're going to be going through and using spaghetti. Now, base that, depending on how many family members that you're after. You're after about this per person. Obviously, if everyone's a little bit more hungry, you can put in a bit more pasta. Okay, so we've got that nice cooked vegetables now. So what we're going to do is just go straight in there with the beef. And you want to break that up into as smaller pieces as you can. Keep on mixing your vegetables there. Obviously you don't want them to burn. Now the heat, I'm just going to turn down a tad. Now the other thing that you can use, which is actually really good when you're trying to mix up your beef, is a whisk as well. So the whisk will just make things a little bit easier in getting that consistency when you're cooking your meat there as well. You just want to continue that until you get a nice brown colour on all your mince. And we'll come back once that's done. Okay, so as you can see, the pasta itself's all been broken down now. That's cooking away nicely. And the beef itself definitely should hear that sizzling sound all the way through. So if you find that you've got a smaller pan and you've got a bit too much mince, then cook it in batches. So you always hear that nice sizzling sound. Bring it in, and then once it's all cooked, so you can put it into the pan and continue cooking. Now at this stage, what we want to do is add in our tomatoes. So they'll go in, as well as the tomato paste there. Give that a bit of a mix. Get all of that stirred through. And then we want our liquids. So for this recipe, I'm going to be putting in a half a cup of red wine. But as I said before, if you don't want to use red wine, that's not a problem. You can use half a cup of water. You can use half a cup of vegetable stock. It's really completely up to you. But definitely put some sort of liquid in there. Give that a little bit more of a stir just to go through. And what you'll find is that that liquid will soak up, especially if you're using the wine or the stock. It will get soaked up by all the vegetables and the meat there. If you are using a nice red wine, obviously as you can see, you're going to get that beautiful dark red, almost purpley sort of tinge there. Going to be absolutely gorgeous. So what we're going to do, we're just going to let that simmer just for about 5 or so minutes. And then once that's all done, the pasta should be all ready as well, and we're all good to go. Okay, so our mince now, our bolognese has been cooking away, just simmering away nicely. All the wine and all the flavours have all infused. It smells absolutely amazing in here. So what we're going to do now is the spaghetti is all done. So I've got a colander or a sieve. What I'm going to do is go across to the sink, and we're going to strain that out. So just come across very carefully with your pot. In you go, keep the colander in the sink, even though you probably can't see that right at this second. And before it completely drains, you want some of that water. Just put your colander on top of the pot. You want to keep some of that water. That's the secret ingredient. You're going to put some of that water into your spaghetti, and then we're going to mix all of that through. So we'll just come straight back across make sure you turn your element off. Okay, so give this a quick mix. Now the bay leaf, you just want to take that out. Be careful, it's definitely hot. And then with your pasta, straight in. Give that a nice mix through. And then, as I said, that water, there's only a little fraction of it that you want to put in. Give that a nice stir through. The flavours definitely from all of that pasta, the salt, the bolognese, absolutely beautiful. And that's ready to serve. So what we're going to do, take that across, I'll just turn the heat off, and then we'll bring that across. Now I prefer to use a pair of tongs, just makes things easier. Grab your pasta, give it a good twirl. Oh, that smells absolutely beautiful. This is going to be a great lunch. And then just put your pasta and bolognese there, all nicely on top. And then just to finish, I've got my grater, Parmesan cheese. Now I like my Parmesan cheese, so give that a good sprinkle. And there we go, guys. Look at that. Nice mix through. Beautiful. That's gorgeous. You should never speak with your mouth full. Alright guys, any questions, comments, anything like that at all, any suggestions of what you'd like to see cooked next, put them in the comments field down below. Definitely share the video with anybody that you know, subscribe so you can get all the updates and everything coming through as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Cheers. Bye. Oh.